Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reaching Towards. Now, today you can see on screen there is something different going on than what we are usually used to, and that's because I am going to introduce you to a free resource and explain to you why it's a really good idea for you to use it. Now, I am on a website called The True Revelation, and you can find it on thetruerevelation.org. And it's absolutely free resources Bible study that's suitable for children and adults. Volume 1 is going to focus on Bible teaching and basic Christianity. The other 3 volumes are going to be more about evangelism and apologetics, but also really good Bible teaching still in it. But before I go into depth with what these volumes are, I want to show you this leaflet I saw that they were giving out. And I think this is a good place to start what this ministry is about, because in this leaflet you see he is targeting that 4 out of every 10 people believe in reincarnation. There are 560 million Buddhists. Hindus are even more. Muslims are even more. Animists, like your African traditions, are in the 100 millions. And then the big problem that's happening is the Darwinistic evolution that is growing throughout the entire world, except for Muslim countries, according to this leaflet, which is one of the few things the Muslims are doing correct. But there is a huge problem in our world that people do not believe the message of Christ. Even people in Christian countries here, where the evolution theory, Darwinistic evolution theory, is a big problem, is supposedly the Christian world. And this is part of the solution. This project is trying to tackle this problem. And it's a series of books that will equip the reader to understand these religions better, and in doing so equip you to better share the gospel. And the best thing about all of these books, they are absolutely free, available on the website. So also, if I go to About Us, because there's a lot of things floating around on the internet, how can you be sure that this isn't just someone else talking a bunch of nonsense that will actually harm your faith and your testimony more than doing good? This is from someone called Dani Haasbroek, and he is a trustworthy source of information because he studied biblical languages and philosophy at Potchefstroom University, and then he continued with theological studies at Stellenbosch University. For 6 years he was a pastor at a church, and for 13 years he was the full-time organizer for the Christian Students Association of South Africa. And since then he has been involved in doing this big work of compiling and writing these books for us. Well, not just books, I'll show you now, it's way more resources than that, but a lot of work went into this, and it's really good resources. So there are 4 volumes in total, and the 4 volumes each have a workbook, a study guide, and then also slides you can use to present this to children in study groups. Absolutely free, all of the work done. All you can do is download it and use it. So the volumes themselves, volume 1 is What is the True Revelation? It's this one. So this will teach you a bit more about Christianity, what is the Bible, something that's in a way that you can present this to children, but there's also a lot of good information in here for discipleship for an adult just coming to faith, or maybe even for someone who doesn't have a deep Bible knowledge. This will definitely help you. Volume 2 will be biblical answers to Hinduism, Buddhism, Animism, and Judaism. Now it's interesting when we go through all of these are all in my country, South Africa, and you will see that we have a lot of Hinduism, especially when you go to the more Indian sides of Durban, and like Laudium has a lot of Hinduism temples. We have the biggest Buddhism temple in the Southern Hemisphere. Animism is major because that's what the most traditional African cultures believe. We have a large Jewish population. You'll find Jewish synagogues everywhere. So South Africa, even though we are a majority Christian country according to the census, we have everything. And your children is going to be indoctrinated with these things in school. They are going to be taught classes on this. So you're going to have to equip them with the proper material to be able to resist it and stand strong for the faith. But this is also good for adults. Like, I will say this for everything. Like, adults can learn a lot from this, because I think Western Christianity in general wasn't loyal in our commission to reach these peoples from other religions. And now those religions are coming to us, especially the one in volume 3, which focuses on Islam. And you can see, like all the other ones, it has a workbook, a study guide, a slide deck you can use when you're presenting this to children or in a study group. But Islam is becoming a major issue. I live in a Christian area where growing up I didn't even see any Islamic people. I didn't know what Muslims were. But now it's not strange to walk in the street and hear a Muslim call to prayer. Almost every shop we have is Muslim owned. So Islam is something we need to prepare ourselves, prepare our children for. And I highly recommend getting this for them. And then obviously creation or evolution in volume 4. This is something that this swallowed the Christian world whole. The majority of people who sit in church will believe in Darwinistic evolution and not even understand why it's unbiblical. So I would say for adults this is already really good, but once again this is good Bible-based information for like evangelism, apologetics against Darwinistic evolution. How can we stand for Christianity in this troubling time we are in? Because people believe they come from apes and that the world just exploded from nothing and now everything is there. But what does the Bible actually say? And this is what these books are going to help you. What does the Bible actually say? And how can you answer biblically? Now here I have examples of the books. I have both the study guide and the workbook. So in each volume the workbook is going to be your primary source of study. It's your primary source of information. And here we can see the table of contents for volume 1 about the Bible, basic Christianity more. You can see this is going to tackle how can we know God, who revealed God, the face of God, the messenger of God. The messenger of God became man. Jesus, the messenger, lived on earth. Why did Jesus have to die? From death to glory, the Holy Spirit, the Christian life, the Bible. So you can see this is a very well thought out, comprehensive introduction into things that every Christian needs to know. And as you can see, this is put together professionally. It's in a way that is, you can really use this to teach children from a very young age. But there's information in here that adults can learn from, because ask yourself this question that's currently on the screen. Can we know God correctly? I don't think the majority of adults know how to answer that question. And here you have it in a way that you can teach it to children. So very good resource. And what is great, at the end of every volume you will also find a bibliography, so you can see which books he used, where to find it. So you can use this also as a grounds to go into deeper study, see where there are other books that can take you even deeper into this. And the study guide's more or less the same, but it's giving you more information than the workbook on its own does. And here you can see once again it is quite extensive, a lot to learn, like the question, who revealed God? I think a lot of people in most religions will say, no, you have to enter some spiritual state or you have to work or something, but Christianity's thing is that God came to us, that we can learn, and He did it through His messenger, which is God Himself, Jesus Christ, in human form. So here you have really great resources, super valuable, absolutely free, and you can use it to do with it what you want. Teach your own children, study yourself. Maybe you have a small group at home. You can use these resources and work through it to give people a good biblical foundation and also know how to answer other world religions. And that's why I want to show you this is from one of his newsletters this year from June 2025. And he starts with something that this channel is also heavily focused on in Isaiah 11 verse 9. The earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. And then he says what I absolutely agree with. Every Christian has been called to assist in fulfilling this promise. And one way you can do this is by using these resources he is giving you absolutely free. You can study this to deepen yourself. You can use these resources to teach children, to do small groups, to fine-tune your ability to share the gospel and know how to do apologetics with people from different religions and different views, so you can more effectively share the gospel and spread the message of Christ. And another part I want to focus on is just this one paragraph here. Some volumes have already been translated by FIBA Radio. Now, FIBA is the Far East Broadcasting Association. It's another missions organization I highly recommend people look into. What they do is they share the gospel via communication technology like the radio. But they have translated some of this work that's available for free in a number of local languages in Malawi and Mozambique. And they are broadcasting it over the radio. And the feedback tells that listeners are engaging with it. So if this can work over a radio, if this can be translated into a different language and to be used, then this is really written accessible, it's understandable. You don't need to study philosophy or theology to be able to read these books. It's written on a level children can understand, but it's the Word of God. It is addressing current issues we are facing in our world, and it's equipping you to effectively share the gospel. Now, a last thing I want to show also, because I know a lot of my viewers are Afrikaans. These books are also available in Afrikaans, already translated. So you can just click there on languages and then it switches over to Die Ware Openbaring, the Afrikaans version of this website, and here you can see all the volumes available in Afrikaans as well, already translated. So there is really no excuse not to use this, not to grow in your own ability to share the gospel, not to strengthen in your own faith, and there is no reason why you cannot teach your children. There is no reason why you can't talk to a Hinduist or a Buddhist or a Jew, or maybe someone stuck in traditional African religions, Animism. There is no reason why you can't talk to someone who believes in Islam and someone who believes in Darwinistic evolution, because here you have all of the resources you need to be able to do it absolutely free. And I really invite you to come to this website, Die Ware Openbaring in Afrikaans, and in English, The True Revelation. And also for just closing off, ending off, I have to say thank you to Pastor or Reverend. He has a title because he has been a pastor, but Donnie Hasbrook, for supplying us with all of this work, all of these resources absolutely free. And I really pray that God will use you in your ministry and sharing the gospel, and that people will find your resources and actually use them to spread the gospel throughout the world.